Everybody, I'm off on a little work trip and have a little bit moment here before get things started for the day. Thought I'd deliver on something I said I would do, and that is compare wooden covers to metal covers on Trochilus also known as the Game Changer, sold in America by Bushman. These are the standard blue ones. I see this one has a black comb. I put it on a Knitlinger comb because the black was kind of a cool color. I thought it would go well with the cover plates, and it does. So I'm gonna give you a few examples without like a backing track or anything, so you can hear the difference, or if there is difference in the sound. And then I'll play with some backing tracks so you can get a sense. So, all right. So coming in the low end. Middle. Mid high. Okay, now let's get into the upper. A little mistake in there, so maybe I'll edit that out. Okay, now let's play with some backing track. Okay, so I'll tell you now what I hear from my end. The place where I hear difference, at first it's not in like the main tone. I hear the difference at the attack and at the release of a note. So it's like if I'm just parked on a note, it's basically the same. And I can also adjust, right? So let's suppose I want it to sound more like the metal comb. When I've got the wood comb, I can adjust my embouchure to get a little bit more of that sound. So I think it's not like a cause, it's more like a factor, right? In terms of the middle of the note. But where I hear a lot of difference is on a note that's not very well supported at the attack and at the release. That's where I hear the biggest difference. Um, and actually, why I think it'd probably be a pretty good choice for folks that are earlier in their journey. So listen to the way the notes start and end in this phrase. Now, if you do it enough times, you hear it's the tiniest bit brighter on this, and the tiniest bit, like there's lower, high end overtones, like somebody took the treble and turned it down just a hair. Okay, so you got that going on. The other difference is that the metal is smoother and more comfortable, right? That's not to say that this is uncomfortable, but you slide better on the metal. But you get a little bit more comfort because of the shape. It's not quite so pointy on this end, so you can really get in there and it doesn't bite into your hand. And then the other part is that I feel like it's a little bit easier to cup because it doesn't have that sharper edge on the left-hand side. The right-hand side, I never felt like on the metal comb that it was that sharp. I did on one of my first ones, and maybe it was this one, and if you look real close, you can see that there's some marks on there. Well, that's because I took a pair of round nose pliers and I tried turning it down. But what I found is that actually it creates a crack in the chrome plating. So I don't recommend taking that approach. I think the wood cover plate is a really good solution. I think I'd also tried putting some other things on the edge, like a little bit of wax, but then it kind of gets messy, or a little piece of tape, something to round out that a little bit. But the wood cover plates do it pretty well. It does have engraved numbers, so you'll feel those if you're sensitive to that. I am, but I know most people are not. They feel perfectly comfortable playing a marine band, whereas for me, I feel like I'm putting a chainsaw on my lips if I'm playing any harmonica that has a bunch of stampings on it. But the depth of the engraving is not so deep, and I seem to notice that the longer I play it, the less that I feel it. I don't know whether that's because the little edges on there get random. And one thing I did is I kind of rubbed the side a bunch like this to see if I could round those edges out a little bit. So either way, not a real big deal. It just it's not metal, so it's not going to be as slick, but it is more comfortable in the hand, and there's an aesthetic quality to playing harmonica with wood cover plates that this is the first time I've really played one with wood cover plates, and I really enjoy that aesthetic, and I definitely look forward to seeing what else comes down the line in terms of like a custom wood cover plate. I just think it's an area where there's a lot of opportunity to do interesting things. Whether that's changing the shape of a cover plate, changing its profile. It's really interesting. I hadn't really considered them before. I had wanted some for my baby fats. I had wanted some chrome plated cover plates, and I looked into having some plated, and it was really expensive or difficult to obtain. So someone had suggested wood, and I just dismissed it out of hand. But I think I may reconsider. So maybe it'll be time for me to head back into the wood shop. All right. I hope you all have a great day.